from the first during the live chat. So, yes, happy Friday, you guys. I was compelled to come on here and just talk about enemies and to shed some light on that through our emotional maturity, give you some perspectives on it. Maybe you might be aware of some of these thoughts and angles, and maybe you'll learn something as well through our talk, right? That's the hope. Take what you can to help you on your journey, because this is just a fact of life, you guys. Everybody, if you live long enough, you will have some type of enemy in your life. Chances are many, known and unknown. But hopefully, when you increase your emotional maturity, you'll start to be able to recognize who these people are, and any type of collateral damages or attacks that they may try to push on in your life could be minimal or non-existent. That's the best case scenario. And hi, my Miracle 79, a faithful follower and subscriber of the channel. I really appreciate your support, honey. And I hope you have a nice weekend, by the way. But let's get into it. What's up with enemies, huh? And what's going on with them on the inside? Now, of course, there are obvious things for the people who have enemies that are actually backstabbers and Judases and people who go around intentionally inflicting pain and oppressing other people. We know why they have enemies. So let's just get that out of the way. We're not addressing them. We're talking about people who are minding their business, putting their best foot forward, not intentionally going around trying to inflict harm and mess up, sabotage, ruin people's lives. We're talking about you. Why do you have enemies? All right. Why does that type of personality have enemies? Well, first of all, of course, we know about the jealousy and the envy. We know about them being haters. We know about them being selfish, or you should, right? These people, they're needy for something. Even if it could be a rich person that's an enemy to somebody. They may be wealthy with money, but they're needy about something, whether it's attention or whether it's just the light that you have inside of you. So these people can be greedy as well, very greedy. They're looking to sabotage, to block your successes, to replace you in life. They have these false narratives, you guys. They think that you're taking something from them. And it's like you're in your lane, fostering your gifts, being diligent to what you feel is being true to yourself, but they feel like you're taking something from them when they're trying to hop into your lane and take what's yours. And hopefully these people are failing, right? So they have a toxic narrative or story that they're telling themselves. And this is where even mental illness will come into place, or this person is just unbalanced. They're very distorted in their perspectives while they're trying to distort other people's perspective of you and your identity. And they're actually trying to even distort you a lot of times and get you to question yourself and make a shift on your self-esteem, or to take something that's beautiful about you and turn it into the most nasty, dirtiest, filthiest thing. And that's horrible. I feel really, I really don't like that, especially for people who may not be as emotionally mature, and especially for younger people who are coming into the world and stuff. When someone does that to them, that's a horrible crime, to get them to feel like their gifts, to try to turn them away from their natural divine path that's going to be fruitful and glorious to them. That's a horrible thing to do. And that's like a crab in a barrel thing, or just to sabotage somebody's life. And on the worst end of the spectrum, these people can be unconditional antagonists in your life, like unconditionally. Like you realize who they are, you let these people go, they're still somewhere talking about you. They're still trying to stir the pot somewhere. They're still trying to go back to the drawing board to figure out something else they can do, something else an attack they can throw in your life, like just unconditionally. Like, yo, you're in this fight by yourself. You still will not give it up. You know, it's a horrible thing, but it's real. No matter what, you might not even be tit for tatting them. You're not saying nothing bad. You're not waging an attack. You're not even going to the law. Nothing. You just moved on with your life. You know, you kicked the flea off your shoulder. You moved on, and then that really gets them going. Like, oh, you're just going to ignore me? So they're really trying to get up under you in any way that they can. If it's by being fake nice, by being two-faced, definitely always wearing a mask. They're trying to beat you to some type of chase. And the chase is what your journey is calling for you. They're trying to beat you to your chase. In essence, they're trying to jump into your lane and run your race better than you when it was made for you anyway. You know, and this is where people can be stealing ideas and mimicking and taking credit for things that aren't theirs, and just twisting and flipping stories, making you the villain, or, you know, whatever they did, you did it. So why is this happening now that we've talked about, you know, what's brewing inside of them? And a lot of people don't talk about this a lot, but a lot of reasons why you have enemies, and this is going to sound so weird, is because you're an authentic person. It's because you're not wearing masks. If you think about narcissists, they're shapeshifters, if you will. You know, they try to be what they need to be in each crowd, but you should be suspicious of someone that just gets along perfectly with everyone. Like, come on, there's no way that you're going to be pleasing everyone. So the more authentic you are, the more that you are true to yourself and you're not trying to people please because you understand you can't please everyone, the more that you have boundaries, the more that you present accountability around you, it's going to trigger toxic people. It's going to trigger their insecurities because, you know, that's not how they lead their life. And this is why people might say your light irritates their demons. And like, you're just going to become an enemy to me just because of that. You could actually just challenge yourself to be a better person, right? They could go within, but because they don't want to change. And that's another reason why you may have an enemy, because you're bringing change into a situation in some shape, form, or fashion. You are changing the status quo, or, you know, you're trying to uplift something. When you're trying to bring change, you know, it's people that are going to always be fighting and kicking and screaming, even if this change is obviously for the better, even if the change is common sense and logical, even if it's actually something very positive. Well, if there are sources and people that are invested in that change not occurring, you've created some enemies at that point. So if you're going against the status quo, if it's going against somebody else's change or somebody else's agenda that they want to remain the same, is basically what I meant, this could certainly create an enemy in your life. When you're standing out, and this goes back to you being authentic and being yourself and not wearing these masks, that makes you stand out. And when you're standing out, you guys, that would make you a bigger target, period. You're just a bigger target for anything. It could be for blessings, whatever, but you're definitely going to be a bigger target for enemies, you know, because you're standing out. And that, of course, it's going to be playing off the jealousy. That's going to create the enemies. That's going to create the haters. And then the people that want to actually be you. See, they're your enemy, but they want to be you. You're hating something that you wish you were. And that's happening a lot of times. And going back to you triggering their insecurities, they're hating it because they know they can't do it. Like, that's not their calling. Maybe on their best day, they're not coming anywhere near this because that wasn't their gift and it's not their calling. You're lusting after something that's not even yours. Maybe if they did some more self-reflecting, they can figure out what their true gift is instead of trying to tap into other people's gifts, right? But yeah, when you're standing out, like that, you have to know a target is going to be on you. So this type of message, you guys, is good for people who are changers of the world, who's trying to really be authentic. Because if you be in this energy and then you're getting punched around because you're not understanding the rules and what comes with that, you know, you have to know what comes with that. Like, don't ask to be a successful person if you can't take criticism, if you can't take haters, if you don't understand about jealousy and envy and frenemies, and, you know, if you can't see an enemy coming from a mile away, because they're going to come and mess up what you got going on. And perhaps it'll be a learning experience and you'll get back on your feet and you can be stronger moving forward. But you have to know what comes with the territory, and your skin and your emotional maturity, your armor, it needs to be able to know how to handle these situations. All right. So what's good about it? Because, you know, nothing is all bad. You know, enemies actually, and I said it yesterday wasn't it yesterday? I did the live chat about in your darkest moment, or was that the day before yesterday? Well, it was one of these days, because I went live yesterday and the day before. I don't want to like switch topics on which day, but one of those days I talked about in your darkest moment. And of course, in those moments, there's some type of enemy, you know, whether it's external or internal, like, because we can be our own enemies. We can self-sabotage ourselves, but that's not really what this video is about. It's more so about the external ones. So what's good about having an enemy? All right. One thing that's good, you guys, about having enemies is it teaches you to stand on your own feet. It will break you out of codependency real quick. It'll force you out of it, as a matter of fact. It should, unless you're just really, really hard-headed. And that's going to be really painful if you are. Very painful. But yeah, it will teach you to stand on your own 2 feet. Okay. It'll also remind you that it's not sweet out here. So I'm not looking to constantly find me in somebody else. I'm not looking for me in anybody, as a matter of fact. Like, it's just one me. You know, the big heart that I have, yes. Are there other people with big hearts? Yes. But it's going to play out in them and the way that it plays out in them. I don't look for me in other people. Toxic empaths do that. You know, naive, gullible people, they do that. So when you have enough enemies, you get experience with that. It lets you know it ain't sweet out here. Everybody's not being sincere. You are meeting their representative when they're meeting the real you. You know, and then that's making them feel like they have one up over you, because they're shielding, they're hiding who they really are. They're like, I'm getting access to this real person. They don't know what I got up in my sleeve. They don't know who I really am. So, you know, while they're planning their strike on you, they're taking real inventory. You know, they're taking real facts about you. And that's what could help them really strike at you in a certain way. And that's why you have to be careful how quickly you give someone access to you and what you're telling them. You know, be strategic about that, especially when you're still vetting this person and you can't be sure more than not at that point. But yeah, you have an enemy, they're letting you know it's not sweet out here. All right. And stop trying to look for you in other people. Just let go of that. All right. The next thing that's good about enemies is they will definitely propel you in growth. Like, you will grow. You know, sometimes it's a painful type of thing, but you will grow through the lessons that you can take with you, right? And that's going to lead to you promoting to the next level. But we have to understand, of course, that these next levels, new level, new devil. So maybe that people in that energy that you just dealt with, they're not going to be able to come at you, but, you know, maybe they might send somebody that's even more darker or a little bit more manipulative. And that's why you always should be continuing to do the work on yourself, so that you're not caught out there sleeping. Because just because you go to the next level, yeah, you could celebrate, but at every level, there's going to be somebody, you know, at every level. The only level where it ain't going to be nobody is when you reconnect with source. Once you get to that point, and that means you've left this earth, at least the physical body, then yeah. But until you get to that level and you still down here on the 3D, next level, no matter how successful you get, and especially it's going to increase. People will get craftier. They will have to be able to even try to come up against your energy as it evolves. They have to get craftier, because you'll laugh at the ones who are nowhere near your energy to even try to even, come against you in that way. Another good thing about having the enemies, or, a benefit from it, you guys, is they help you clean house. Yes. If you don't find out who the enemies are, how are you going to get them out from your circle? So when people expose themselves, be happy about it. Instead of being heartbroken, be happy about it. At least you know. And if you would stop prematurely putting people in boxes they haven't deserved or earned, or even if you put them in a box that you believe that they deserved and earned, and you have to make that shift, be more than happy to do it, because you know the damages that they can do if you don't. Cut your losses and be happy that it didn't get worse, that they couldn't do more. Thank God for that. Like, you have to change your perspectives. People are so heartbroken about it. Like, at least because it could have been worse. It could have been worse. All right. And, enemies, they'll teach you how to also protect yourself. Yes, you will have to learn how to prepare for a battle, how to get through a war. Enemies will teach you that, you guys, because you're going to have to. You're going to have to learn self-defense. And that can take many types of looks, you know what I mean? Whether it's mentally, like you have to be mentally strong enough, psychologically, emotionally, physically, okay, financially. It's going to teach you how to have even more armors and protect yourself. They will definitely give you a crash course on that, because they're looking for your vulnerabilities. They're looking to catch you slipping in some type of way so they can exploit you for that. They want to exploit you for your emotions in your heart. They want to exploit you because they know you want to think the best of everyone. They want to exploit you because you're desperate for this or that. That's what they want to do, you guys. But and I'm not making this for anyone to beat up on themselves, but enemies are just a fact of life. And the more light you have shining inside of you, the higher your purpose, the more, crafted that is, the bigger and badder that enemy is going to be. And all the more reason why you need to have the awareness. Not because you're operating out of fear, but because I want to be prepared, or I want to be in the know. And although we don't know everything, we can, like I said, I'm a psychology junkie. So I armor myself with these things, and it makes it harder for people to do certain things. Now, I've had a lot of enemies. So I've gotten a lot of experience, but it's made me who I am today. So I don't regret any of it. And like I said, I believe in yesterday's live chat, and you learn how to make lemons out of lemonade. Lemons out of lemonade, you guys, because enemies aren't going anywhere. They're not. But the devastation that they can cause on your life, or their ability to penetrate to a certain level, we can change that. We can at least start doing that. Because it's not who you attract, it's who you entertain. I've heard like a lot of new age stuff. You attract who you are. Some of that is true, but that's not 100%. That's not 100%, you guys. You didn't attract a narcissist because you were a narcissist, but you entertained them long enough for them to do their dirt and, be disruptive on some type of level. So just understand that in life about the people you're choosing to put in your circle and around you. It's not who you attract, it's who you entertain. Okay? Because everybody wants a good person, even people that don't deserve it. They'll take a shot if your self-esteem is low enough, if your boundaries are low enough, if you're low enough hanging fruit. Who wouldn't go for that ride if they could? So that's why you have to know yourself and be more selective. But as far as enemies, they could be an enemy and not be in your circle. They're just, they're in their own clique, but they're still working against you. So it's not even always about who you're selecting to be close to you. Like, they can be just doing this at a distance, child. Okay? Just at a distance, evil eyeing you at a distance, praying for your downfall, and jealous of you at a distance. So there's really so many levels to this, and that's why I also reinforce spirituality. Like, pray to your God. That's why people got to stay prayed up. You pray. Like, I'll never understand unless I feel like I know this person, and even if. And that's touchy for me. I would never be the person, and I've seen this throughout the years, that go on social media and first of all, announce their difficulties and problems. Just, and then ask other people to pray. Like, all their Facebook friends who aren't even really their friends. These are really just associates, and who knows how many of those are actually enemies. Like, first of all, I'm letting them know I'm having a problem. And now they could continue to actually pray for it to continue and be worse. Like, I don't know what God you're praying to. No, I do not ask people to pray for me. I don't, unless I really trust that spiritual advisor. Like, and scandals have come out where we all thought that spiritual advisor was something, and we found out there's something else. So put your own work in. Put your own work in. Put your own work in, you guys. You pray to your God. You know it's getting there, and you know exactly what's being said and tapped into who. Okay? So I hope that this chat, I'm just dropping in, you guys, briefly. And I always get to the point, so it really doesn't usually take me long to do that. But I hope everybody's well, and I hope that we're sharpening our armors, and we're getting better at protecting ourselves and the things that are important to us, because enemies are a real thing. And I know, talking to you guys, I don't really have to tell you that, but I did want to get into specifics so that we can expand our minds on the subject matter and just understand it, because good people sometimes they don't, because they're not stepping outside of their own way of thinking. Like, why are people always hating on me? Like, what is the point of that? Like, I didn't do anything to anybody. Why am I being attacked? Well, this is why. This is why. And also, God will allow you to be sharpened. He's preparing you for a higher room. And he knows that you need to be sharpened sometimes. So he'll allow certain people come in and test you and sharpen you, but he'll only let it go so far. That's kind of the equivalent, like you scraped your knee, but you didn't lose your knees, but you scraped it. You may have a little scar, and then it'll get small over the years, but it's not something that's going to devastate your life. And, this is refinement. This is refinement, and it builds character, and it prepares you for a higher level in life, because if he feels like you can't handle it, he can't just throw you up there and you won't know what to do with all those attacks. But if you've been gradually experiencing things and, being victorious and getting through it, because that's the main thing. A lot of people, they experience these enemies and they let them win. They let the enemies succeed in getting into their head, because once they steal your mind, like what I was talking about in the beginning, making you question yourself and your identity and your self-esteem and your gifts and your purpose, once they get you to do all of that, they won. And this could be without even laying a hand on you. So do not be feeble-minded, you guys. We have to be strong-minded and know thyself. Know thyself and know people, or, whatever vision God gave you, he gave it to you. It's okay if a lot of people don't understand it. You know how many people were ahead of their time in life? It happens all the time. And it may not even be until after their death that people finally get it. And now this person is a celebrity. Like, they long gone from the 3D. And people were like literally worshiping them and all this other stuff, which you, of course, shouldn't be worshiping people. But just to, they become this celebrity way after the fact. So don't worry about it. Just stay true to yourself. Everyone's not cut from the same cloth. It's okay. But be strong enough within yourself and let that be enough. And I always say the same thing in a lot of live chats. If the whole world was against me, I would still love me. Because the whole world, we're still talking about a whole bunch of other human beings, who are in their own glass houses, by the way, which is, people are so judgmental in that way. And they be in their whole glass house, pretending like they're not. So you got this. Life is not for the feeble. I've said this to my adult children when they come to me about what I would call light work. I'm like, you better toughen up, buddy, because you just, number one, you just starting in life. You are just starting. If you can't get over this, you already about to go buckle in a corner. What? You better act like you know. You're not, life is not for the weak. And then we're not talking about physical muscles. We're talking about that brain muscle. We're talking about the brain muscle all day long. Like, a strong mind can take you far. Okay? Being strong in yourself, that can take you far. And the more people start understanding this, the better they're going to be when people try to come and shake them. They won't be able to. They tried everything they got. And that's, and then that gets to the scary part. That's when people just try to take your life and stuff. They're like, nah, it ain't nothing I can do. I can't. That's the only thing I could have did, they're unshakable. I can't get in their head. And this is why a lot of collective leaders, a lot of people have gotten assassinated, unfortunately. The enemy, that's the only thing they had left to do. They couldn't shake their mind. They couldn't, that's all, And even with that, God knows everything. He knows everything, the end to the beginning. And even those leaders, they know as well. A lot of them, they knew what was coming towards them. But whatever cause or whatever they were fighting for, or whatever change that they were trying to bring to society, they were willing to risk their lives for it. And I'm not, trying to be dramatic here, like everybody is doing something like that. But I'm just saying on a larger scale, just to, understand how these things work. All right. All right, you guys, it was nice to check in with you. I hope that this talk has helped, somebody's. If you have any questions, I'll definitely wait a few moments at this time. If you're experiencing any issues and you don't mind sharing it on the live chat, everybody's here to hear it. All right. If you're a little bit more bashful, you can email me. My email's right there on the screen, coachlakia@gmail.com. Live chats are a great way to connect with me, you guys. And I'll definitely be willing to help you in any way that I can. Whatever I know, I'll share it with you. So I'll give a few moments for that. And if no one does have any questions, I'll just end the live chat, you guys. And I will definitely see you in the next one. And I see my Miracle quite a while ago in the beginning. He said, glad I dropped the video. Yes, honey, I've definitely been coming on and doing the live chats. I'm going to go back into the ones that I've already dropped and see if I can tag appropriate videos to them. I mean, when you do a regular video, you can, and I think you can on live chats. I have to see. But life is life, and it's not going to stop doing that. So, don't let anybody steal your joy and your peace. Like, guard that. Like, no one has access to that but me. No other person can tither-tatter that, I'm filling my own cup. You can't. You're having a bad day. You want to start some drama, you'll be doing it by yourself, honey. I don't have time. I won't make time, and I won't indulge. There's nothing they could do with you at that point. They'll be wasting their time, exhausting themselves, and making themselves sick and all types of stuff trying to attack you. But that's their choice. That's how they want to spend their time, But if God knows this person is an unsavory character, he'll just use them to sharpen you. Because I've said it before, unsavory people get used all the time. They're like, what good was this person's life? They wasn't this, they did that. They were always doing this and that. But the people they were doing this and that to, I bet you they learned some valuable lessons. So even in them and their poor character, they're being catalysts to open other people's eyes up. Like, look, it ain't sweet out here. Not like that. You have to be careful. Everybody that smile on your face ain't your friend now. Just because they said they love you don't mean they do. You have to learn these things so that you're not gullible. You're not gullible because it just might be an enemy. Just might be an enemy being fake, nice, and two-faced. All right. So have the right approach. When people start professing their love for you and their loyalty and their this and that, let them show you. And more, not just one time now. Let them show you over a period of time. People have to be on trial basis. They can't, they said they're my friend. I'm your friend. Now we're friends. Like psychologically, like inside of your head, you have to, okay, they're saying they're my friend. I guess time will tell, and it's not that you have to be suspicious of everyone, but it's only safe to say that because, okay, so if this is day one of our friendship, it hasn't really been proven or tested yet, has it? Right? So it only makes sense. It'll be reinforced over time based off of their character or lack thereof. So, they're going to show me just like I should be having to show them. But the way that we choose to attach to people and, or not, or the quickness of it or the depth of it, sometimes that's something that we really have to think about. Because aren't you tired of sleeping with the enemy? Aren't you tired of having the enemy at your dinner table, inside of your home, your most sacred space? Like, that has to become tiring after a while. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful, you guys. All right. I don't see any questions here of help. So with that being said, you guys, it was really nice to drop in and, have these talks with you. If there's something or topic that you would like for me to cover, you're welcome to post it under this video or any video. And chances are I usually do it. I'm pretty good about that. All right. All right, you guys, enjoy your weekend and keep loving on yourselves. Never abandon yourself. All right. And watch out for these enemies. Take care.